Hello, friends. This is Anthony from Force Ghost Conversations. Are you looking to get into the podcast game yourself? Well, if you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, let me tell you, it's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Let me explain. Anchor has some tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Then, when hosting on Anchor, you can even distribute your podcast on listening platforms such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many, many more places. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. And get this, everyone, best of all, Anchor is totally free. Just download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started today. Hello there. Welcome to this episode of Force Ghost Conversations. This is your host, Anthony King, and this week I'm going to take a deep dive look at the Obi-Wan Kenobi teaser poster. Before we get started, I'm inviting you to join the conversation with us. We can be found on Twitter at Force Ghost Pod. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok just by searching Force Ghost Conversations, and we look forward to connecting with you on those platforms. Also, please be sure to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast on your listening site of choice. And without further ado, it's time to gather around the campfire for some Force Ghost Conversations. Okay, everyone, welcome back. And before we get into the discussion of the Kenobi teaser poster for our show today, of course, wanted to do our typical run around the Star Wars news all around the galaxy, aka the segment dubbed Cloud City Gossip. And it was a kind of slow news week for Star Wars overall, but there are some interesting tidbits to note here. So first, the Galactic Star Cruiser, aka the Star Wars Hotel, at Walt Disney World has set sail with its first guest passengers this past week. More details, of course, can be found on StarWars.com. There's even a few videos that have been posted about the experience and what you can expect. But I would also recommend checking out our coverage by friend of the show, Dan Zer, who is a part of a recent press preview event. So he's done some episodes about his experience. He did a full walkthrough on the CWK live show previously. And he also just did a recent episode about top food items that you could experience on the Star Cruiser. So be sure to go check out all of those episodes. Let Dan know what you think about it. I'm intrigued to hear what you think about it as well. And that'd be great. So next, and although this is not Star Wars, it's a part of the Lucasfilm family, so we're going to report on this stuff. I am pleased to share that the 5th installment of the Indiana Jones franchise has wrapped filming this week. Producer Frank Marshall announced the news via Twitter. And as Indiana Jones is another Lucasfilm property, we look forward to seeing this excellent adventure in the cinema next June. And I don't know about you, but I personally can't wait. I love the Indiana Jones franchise. I love all 4 of them so far. I cannot wait. Very excited for all of this. And then finally, we'd be remiss here at Force Ghost Conversations if we did not pay our respects to Alan Ladd Jr., who passed away this week at the age of 84. And in addition to his numerous contributions to the film industry, Ladd was the president of 20th Century Fox in the 1970s, and he was the one who greenlit Star Wars. He believed in a young George Lucas and his vision and what he had planned for this wacky space opera fantasy venture, and he said, let's go. I have always been fond of Ladd's connections to the Star Wars galaxy, watching his interviews in the excellent documentary Empire of Dreams, so may he rest in power. And on the other side of this break, we will be back with our main topic for today, taking a deep dive examination of that Obi-Wan Kenobi teaser poster. Okay, everyone, We are back, and as I alluded to several times to this point, this episode is going to be a cozy, deep dive look at the wonderful Obi-Wan Kenobi series teaser poster that was released basically after the finale for the Book of Boba Fett back in early February. And we were concluding our Boba Fett coverage here, and some other things have come up, of course, in the Star Wars galaxy. So I wanted to ensure that we took the time to appreciate this wonderful piece of art, look at it from all angles, and just have a good time exploring the possibilities, speculating responsibly about what this show will be. And I frankly, f- full spoiler to begin with here, I love this poster. I think it showcases the tone of what we're going to expect in this series. There's so many hidden details and Easter eggs on here, I think, that are just going to be wild. So come join us along this wonderful ride here. And if you don't think that I can possibly hit a half hour of discussion here by just looking at this one image on a computer screen here, then you must be new to Fourth Ghost Conversations here, because I love Obi-Wan Kenobi. I can definitely talk until the hills run red about this character. I'm gonna give you a few seconds here, just so you can pull up the uh, the poster on your own at home, just so that we're all on the same page here. I want you to have your opinions as well. I want you to follow along so that we're all thinking and talking about the same things here. I personally have it queued up twice. Um, I have two, examples of the poster, or one smaller, one larger, just so it's easier to uh, view on my computer screen here. To go back and forth, maybe zoom in, look at some finer details of it all. So I'm gonna give you all 5 seconds here, a little countdown, right? So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great. I hope you had time to Google that quickly. I mean, you could have obviously just paused the episode, or and just pull it up on your own or something like that. There are certain ways to get around all this, but I think you're there. I think you're there, or if you want to, you're there. So thank you for pulling this up. I hope you all enjoy this little cozy discussion we're going to have. Pull up a beverage of your choice, right? Pull up some coffee or some tea, water, soda, so to speak, and let's look at this poster. Let's look at this poster. So I think the big thing that you want to highlight exactly right away is that little thing at the bottom there, right? The fact that this original series is going to premiere on May 25, right? There were some rumblings about when this series is going to come out. This is definite confirmation from Disney, from Lucasfilm, that the Obi-Wan Kenobi series is coming on May 25. Why is May 25 important, you might ask? Well, that is to the date the anniversary of when Star Wars first premiered in 1977. So with it coming out in 2022, that is the 45th anniversary of A New Hope. Wow. Check that out, everybody. That's pretty connective tissue, right? That's when we first were introduced to Obi-Wan Kenobi, or Ben, as we're first told his name is, that crazy wizard out by the Dune Sea, right? This hermit out there. He died at the same time as your father, or something like that. Obi-Wan Kenobi. Uh, I like that, that this date is a thing. There's a good debate in the Star Wars community about, is it a May 4th? Is that the real Star Wars Day? Is May 25 Star Wars Day? I personally just celebrate both. Why not? Why should we limit ourselves to the Star Wars soup that is fun? Go ahead and take another bite. Take another slurp of that soup. I'm glad that we finally have confirmation on when this series is coming out, because it's been terrifying to wait for it. This has been a series that's been out of somewhat shape or form active development since probably 2016, I can imagine, with multiple directors being attached to it, different writers coming in, taking their stab at it. And I'm glad that Deborah Chow, who directed 2 episodes of The Mandalorian season 1, is going to be putting her full stamp on the Obi-Wan Kenobi name. And I frankly really love her episodes in that first season. I think she's gonna knock this out of the park, right? That was like the biggest interview you could possibly imagine, was those early on episodes of the Mando, and um, the fact that they felt full confidence in her to give her this series, whatever it be, 6, 4, 5, 6. I don't frankly know at this point. I keep hearing conflicting reports about the length of this series. Um, so it's going to be fascinating just to see her overall take on it. But that's really like the big thing overall that you should take away from the poster fully. Um, is that it is coming out May 25. The wait is almost over. And also for those at home, Star Wars Celebration at the time of this interview, or this recording, is going to be from that Thursday through the following Sunday, then, so the 26th, or I believe the 29th or 30th, something like that. I don't know the full dates off the top of my head. So it premieres that Wednesday, and then that Thursday is technically when Celebration is supposed to start in Anaheim. And Force Ghost Conversations will be in Anaheim that week, one way or another. So we'll be watching this from our hotel, probably Tuesday night at midnight, since we're on the West Coast time at that point. So that'll be really cool. I'm very excited to experience that in a new setting as opposed to our typical home setting, which nothing wrong with that. Just cool to get some little different sceneries here and there. But I mean, I hope that there is some type of, experience or panel at Celebration where they can bring out the cast and just geek out about the first episode. I, I always like, don't get me wrong, I love the whole idea of Celebration, the panels and all that stuff, and I'm looking forward to it all. But there is some limitedness when it or limited. They are limited in some regards to what they're able to say because of spoiler purposes, right? They cannot go into full plot details. They have a strict list of what they can say in these types of engagements. And the fact that a full episode will be out, the conversation will entirely change when it comes to that. They might even screen an episode. Who knows? The sky's kind of the limit when it comes to that. And frankly, I don't know if there's actually ever been a Star Wars property that has been able to been discussed like this at a celebration before. I don't know off the top of my head, frankly. Everything has been either in between or something like that. So I'm very fascinated to see what those conversations could look like in that setting. The next thing, obviously, that you want to note is that we have a title for this series. We've been going back and forth. Is it just Kenobi? Is it Kenobi, a Star Wars story? This is Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's it. Obi-Wan Kenobi. We've got a title for the series. I think it's apt. It's exactly what you can expect, right? I would imagine it's going to be Obi-Wan is going to be the protagonist. It's going to be Obi-Wan intensive. I know we've got, Vader coming back and potentially Inquisitors, and who knows what else is going to be popping up here and there. But it's going to be really cool to see how this goes. He's been a character of intrigue for a while for me. He obviously is that guiding mentor figure throughout the entire original trilogy, and he's also, of course, the reluctant father figure of Anakin Skywalker throughout the course of the prequel trilogy in many regards. If you even want to call him a father, I mean, he might not even consider himself a father, even though Anakin tells him that, and he's kind of shrugs it off. Ultimately, at the end, there, Obi-Wan says, "You're my brother." So I think they're the two viewpoints that they've had against each other for a while there were kind of off base, and maybe there's a lack of communication between the two of them. But if you really want to note a cool hidden detail that you might not have noticed by just looking at this teaser alone, is that the last eye in Kenobi at the end there is the lightsaber of old Ben. Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan Kenobi, Alec Guinness's Obi-Wan Kenobi, that is their lightsaber. That comprises the eye. I think that's just a really cool and neat detail. Also gotta give a good shout out to that graininess, that sand-like texture, putting the title together, Obi-Wan Kenobi. I like the title. I hope that we don't have these lingering discussions about what a title means and if it's really impactful to the series. We've discussed that for the Book of Boba Fett, and I hope that doesn't drastically alter the conversations around the series and hinder people's opinions and judgments on it just because of a title. So I'm hoping that it's pretty straightforward. It's to the point, right? It's just Obi-Wan Kenobi. There's no book of, right? It could have been the book of Obi-Wan Kenobi or the journal of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Like, I know there are some potential thoughts around that when there were that comic run that they did a few years back, and I think they're redoing it, or at least expanding upon that concept a little further in advance of the Kenobi series coming up, where Luke found some excerpts of his journal in his hut. So obviously that's somebody they could have gone with it, but I like the just slim, straightforward approach that they took here. Obi-Wan Kenobi, love it. I'd be remiss if you didn't notice the sand all over. If you just moving up the proverbial poster itself, right? There's a lot of sand. Tatooine is a desert wasteland. It is a junkyard. It is a place of scum, villainy. It is where people go to hide. It is a place where people go to die. It is a place where the underworld exists. The Hutts reign supreme at this time. And this series, from what I understand, is somewhere 9-10 years after the events of Revenge of the Sith. We don't know how long the course of this series is going to take place. We know Obi-Wan's going to be on Tatooine at this time, of course, at least to start. There's potential that he could leave the planet. But I would have to imagine, at least based off of this teaser poster, that he's going to be there for a good amount of the series. I mean, it makes sense logically. He's going to have to probably begin and end there, unless they want to do a season 2, which I personally would love, but I don't think that's in the cards right now. Maybe not. Maybe it is. Who knows? We don't know what they're planning over there at Lucasfilm, and frankly, let them hash it out. Let them figure it out. There's a great, again, this graininess to it. I can't believe that they were able to capture this on some whatever Photoshop that they used, or if this was a stock photography, something like that. I don't know. We'll have to see if it appears up in the series or not. If this is actually like a volume tested shot or something like that. I don't know, frankly, where they even filmed it. If they filmed it at the volume or if they filmed on location somewhere. I don't really know. I'd imagine they filmed in the volume because Deborah Chow had experience with that in The Mandalorian season 1. I just like how the you can obviously see that there's a breeze going, and that just a hidden detail is interesting. You obviously will see this some clouds up ahead, like the storm clouds. So I don't know if that's a gathering storm, if that's symbolizing what the dark cloud of the Empire that shrouds over everything. I don't know. That's a fascinating thing, but I just like that hidden detail of obviously there's some wind going, and I think that's just a really neat aspect of the graphic design for this poster in general. Uh, so I think that's really cool. If I can skip the main character for the moment, obviously I just discussed here for a little bit here. If you go to the top of the poster overall, there's obviously the gathering clouds. There's some dark clouds. I don't know how often it storms on Tatooine. Uh, so that's interesting. Maybe there's a good rainstorm or something like that. I don't know. Maybe we'll see some rain on Tatooine for once, and maybe we'll get to see a little ocean form up in the Dune Sea, right? Maybe we'll get a little puddle there that they kept alluding to in Boba Fett. They kept talking about that a few times. I don't know. I think it's more symbolic of the dark cloud that shrouds everything. The dark side of the Force is obviously very impactful and powerful right now. They have full reign over the galaxy. The Inquisitors are out there doing their thing, hunting down the remaining Jedi Knights. But then out of the darkness comes this hope. It's Obi-Wan Kenobi, who is there on Tatooine with a purpose, protecting the New Hope for the galaxy. There's a simmering light, a poking out of this darkness. And then in the end, that's kind of what Star Wars is about. It's about having hope. It's about believing when there is no reason to be believing. Oh, at this time, I mean, this is really the dark times that Obi-Wan describes, right? In A New Hope, he's like, before the dark times, before the Empire. Yeah, come on now. This is literally that 19-year period between when the Empire starts at the end of Revenge of the Sith to when the Death Star blows up, and this, or frankly, when the Battle of Scarif, when the Rebel Alliance fully aligns itself together and makes that first attack on a space station, on a planet that the Empire fully has under their grasp. They were not expecting the Scarif attack. That's at the end of the day what Star Wars is. It's bread and butter. Also, if you would note behind it, obviously there's the two suns, Tattoo 1, Tattoo 2, I think, something like that. Don't quote me on that. Of course, it's the twin suns. It's the journey. It's that longingness that Luke Skywalker will look towards when he's looking for adventure, when he's looking for something bigger than himself, when he's looking to be a part of something, to be the person he's meant to be. That he knows inside who he is. That wonderful scene of him just standing there on that little ledge, looking off into the distance. That that back setting is what is comprising of Obi-Wan here. Now, obviously, that sun is gonna be a bit devastating on Kenobi. We see how much he ages from the events of Revenge of the Sith towards New Hope. There, he gets old pretty fast. Same for Beru and Owen, and Beru and Uncle Owen. They don't age too well. They get hit pretty hard by the suns, the bright suns of Tatooine, and they take its toll. Like they're hardworking people. They're farmers. They're out there dealing with all the gangs and the raiders and all that, and they're just trying to make their living moisture farming. And I'll be interested to see what Obi-Wan does, if he has like some means of how to support himself. We're gonna get more time with this character. We're gonna see him traversing the wastelands of Tatooine. We're gonna see him. Maybe we're gonna see. Or obviously, we're gonna see Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru in this series. We know that's confirmed from the casting, especially from that Disney Plus event that they had back in December of 2020, which is a fantastic event. And when they confirmed that Hayden was coming back and so on and so forth, we're getting all that. We're getting all that in this series. And I just love that the twin suns are incorporated in this. Obviously, it makes sense giving the content of the series, where it's going to be geographically taking place, at least to start. It honestly, it tells you exactly where this is going to be. So there's no speculation about if there were anything otherwise, right? If it didn't have the twin suns, it could be another. The speculation could be going a completely different way. Another planet. Could be perhaps it could be Jeddah, right? Another kind of deserty like planet. It could be uh uh what's the wow, am I forgetting this Force Awakens planet off the top of my head? Jakku. Yeah, there we go. I remember those discussions at the time of the Force Awakens when those teasers came out and the posters. Like, is that Tatooine? Did they have a big battle uh for the between the rebels and the Empire on Tatooine? Is that where the Empire fell? No, that is Jakku. That is Jakku, ladies and gentlemen. We don't have to. Not everything has to take place on Tatooine, but at least I think this story, to start, has to. I'm gonna be fully frank here that I'm gonna let these creators decide what they want for this series overall. I'm not going to be backing them into a corner here. I'm just thrilled that we get more time with you, and I did not expect that we'd get him. He's such a standout from the prequel trilogy for me. I hope he is for you too. He brings a gravitas to that role over the course of The Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith. That is so powerful. So powerful. Obviously, we're at that point now where we can discuss and look at the man himself. And I like how he's just kind of there in the distance. He's in the background. What does that mean for the character? I mean, obviously, that's what he's supposed to be doing right now. He's not supposed to be in the forefront, causing attention, driving people to look at him, right? He's supposed to be in the shadows. He's supposed to be protecting Luke. He has purpose. He has. I wonder if he's found peace in that. Frankly, we might have to do a discussion one day of leading up to Obi-Wan about what my script was that I spent time working on. I'm like, what was my idea for that? We just might have to take a little deep dive look into that one there about what it means to where is Kenobi in his headspace at this point in time. It would be fascinating to see what this interpretation does. I obviously stopped doing my script just because I didn't want to shoehorn in my expectations, and I hope you do the same thing too, because I know there's been obviously the Kenobi book by John Jackson Miller. It's a great book, by the way. Go check that out. I know it's a Legends tale, but there might be some connective tissues here. You never know. There's always things that they can pull from. Got some comics there in between, but mostly headcanon. Headcanon is what got people from those, once Revenge of the Sith ended to the time that A New Hope started. Like, we can obviously put in our own thoughts for how this character has survived, what he's done to get by. How is he? How does he become that character that we find that saves Luke from those Tusken Raiders that are, taking taking their good swing at him? It's fascinating. I like that he's in the background there. I like that he's got. It looks like he's got his lightsaber in hand, or maybe that's even Anakin's lightsaber. I can't really tell too well from the distance here. It obviously looks like he's growing his hair out a bit. I like that detail. I always like Ewan with some hair. I like his look in Attack of the Clones. I know that might be a hot take. The little mullet that he's got going there. Maybe that comes back out. Maybe he just hasn't got a haircut for a while. I think that's kind of interesting if they were to do that. I know Alec Guinness, his hair is going wild in A New Hope there because of all the winds on Tunisia when they were filming. I'd be intrigued to see how that plays out. I think you should be too. I like to see the look of Ewan. I know he's a sharp looking man. He's got those, of course, the Jedi robes on. It looks like maybe some little weathered. I think Ewan looks great, and I'm very excited for this series, ladies and gentlemen. I think this poster is exactly the tone that we're looking for. There's some hopeful optimism here. I'm intrigued to see where Obi-Wan starts at the beginning of this series, and then where he's going to end up in it. I assume he's going to end up, if there's a character arc, like, right? Is he challenged at all in his belief in what he's doing? Why does he force? I mean, if he leaves the planet, which I think he might in the course of the season, I don't think it's smart if Vader's the key villain to have another climactic battle on Tatooine near where all this stuff is going down with Luke. I don't think that would be smart. He's got to go off world, maybe, probably, potentially. I think this teaser poster does just enough. It gets you so excited for the series. Like I am right now. I'm geeking out just looking at it. And I think that it's I think what we should always do with any Star Wars property is leave our expectations at the door as soon as we walk in, and then just come in and sit down and just live in the moment with what is presented to us, and then go back and question things. How did your expectations change? How did it alter? Where'd you go with it? But now this is like the official marketing start for the series. I know we don't have a trailer yet. I hope we get a trailer soon, but I'd imagine based off of how the streaming model kind of works, we might not get that for quite some time, to be honest. Maybe we get a trailer, maybe two, maybe a teaser minute, another teaser minute, I know there's the Disney Plus little minute there. It's really just some behind the scenes concept art. Maybe perhaps get at the latest, I'd say probably early May is when you get a good story teaser. Perhaps even I would say probably mid-April is probably when you could probably expect that, just because they don't want all the hype to go away. They want to build up into it. I know they're competing with other other properties of the Disney umbrella. Moon Knight's coming out at the end of March, which I'm very excited for. But there could be obviously something in the mix there. They don't want to overstep on too many toes. I'm just going based off of how they've basically done with The Mandalorian and what other streaming plans have done to this point. But I hope we get more content. I know we get snippets of interviews and story bits here and there as these characters and actors are out on the press junkets for other things that they're doing. They're on the late night talk shows, what have you. They're appearing on podcasts. They're on the red carpets for other things, right? We get like the details of how excited they are to work together, and I just can't wait to see what they're all able to produce here for this series. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to all of my ramblings, rantings, and discussions for the great series that is upcoming, Obi-Wan Kenobi. I can't wait for May 25th. I hope you're just excited as I am at home. I am so looking forward to everything here. And I hope you are too. Let me know what you think about this poster. Also, if you didn't think we could get to a half hour, then I just proved you wrong here. Just by full transparency, I came in with no notes. I just wanted to look at this wonderful piece of artwork and riff off of it. It is excellent. I wish I could hang this up. I just wish I need more wall space to hang this thing up. I think it's great. But let me know what you think at home. I would love to hear what you think. Connect with us. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Let's go. Let me know what you think about this poster. What are you most excited for when it comes to the Obi-Wan Kenobi series? What are you looking forward to? Let us know, and we'll be back next week with another episode about something in the Star Wars galaxy. Don't know yet. We're going to figure it out along the way. But I hope you all have a great week, everybody, and may the Force be with you.